I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I greet you all, my brothers and sisters, in the greeting words of peace, once again in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. Over the past few years, I've been fortunate and blessed to have been exposed to many scholars in our midst. That here at Cal State Long Beach, through our Black Studies Department, we've been able to see and to learn something about ourselves. And it's the beginning of a knowledge which eventually we all will take and use to develop our communities. The Black Student Union's ultimate goal is to build a cadre of intellectuals and professionals whose ultimate commitment is to develop the Black community. That's a goal that we set ourselves to accomplish. And programs like these are those that help to build in the student the knowledge of self. Programs like these that help to build in the student confidence that there's a Black army out there for them. A program like this that turns many students around who have never seen anything like this before. So I like all of you that are here for the first time who have never been in a program sponsored by the BSU, a program attended by the Nation of Islam and FOI, to relax. Though you're saying something new, you're saying something that's good for you. Though you may not be used to brothers standing around and they may not be smiling all the time, understand that these brothers have the exact same nature as you. When Public Enemy came out with a new song, they were inside their cars doing like this. It's a rhythm. There's a science. There's something that's natural to you and I, that these brothers come from the same stuff which you come from. That you have to understand that they're here for our own security. Not to protect you specifically against some type of attack. But you know how sometimes you go home and your mother's sitting there and you feel so much better to go home and your mother's just sitting there. She doesn't have to say anything, but you feel much more comfortable, much more secure. You can do what you have to do because your family is there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A lot of sisters say, I don't like to go home and there's no one there. The light has to be on. I don't want to go home into a house that's not secure. So when the brothers come out to the Cal State Long Beach, this is still Cal State Long Beach Black Student Union's program. But the brothers are here to help us feel more secure so that we can feel more comfortable with what it is we're about to hear. The brother who's going to be speaking directly after me is Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Brother Khalid is a former professor here at Cal State Long Beach as well as many other universities in the area. He has a PhD. That's why we call him Dr. Khalid. He's a very wise man. He's been through many trials and tribulations. He's a former national representative for Minister Louis Farrakhan. Those of you who know him here know him pretty well from Professor Ross' class seeing the debate against the Jews in class. Most of you know that tape. And seeing him here on many numerous occasions. He was just here in our Black Consciousness Conference 2 years ago and was here to help us step forward in the defense of our sister Annette Cannoli 2 years ago in a rally that helped shape the campus and help the rise of the Black students here at Cal State Long Beach. Without any further ado, allow me to introduce a brother whom we all love, Dr. Khalid Muhammad.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. I bear witness that there is but one God, and I bear witness to Jesus and Muhammad and all of the great worthies who came in the great line of divine. I greet you, my beloved and beautiful Black brothers and sisters, with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Abadigani, Hotel, and free the land, and black laws for all black people. To the members of the Black Student Union, Jama'atu, the second family. To its president, Brother Quayle. To its vice president, Brother Patrick Hall. To Sister Secretary Denise and Ishel. To Brother Mance and to Sister Salima and Brother Henry, And of course, to Sister Amanika, who helped to lay the foundation, and to our professor, Amun Ra, who won't give up the battle, who won't turn heels and run, but stands battling in the trenches on behalf not only of our people in general, but he fights for the students here at Cal State Long Beach, to the degree that Cal State Long Beach has the best and probably the strongest Black Studies department, but certainly most active Black student union probably anywhere to be found anywhere in the country. So I was honored to have been asked to be on the same program with Professor Ra, and asked by Brother Qualey to come and speak to you. I think it is fitting and proper that I start here in Los Angeles, for it was here that it all began really for me, in Los Angeles. And after just being released from prison, this is actually my first, don't be shocked, federal prison. And I'll put it in my resume that not only have I been to Harvard, but that I've also been to the devil's best school, but some of the devil's best penitentiaries and prisons in America, which means that I won't walk with a limp, which means that I won't walk with a broken wrist. It means that I will have the balance that is necessary to stand strongly and firmly. So this is the first place that I have had an opportunity to speak since having been released from prison. To Brother Wazir Muhammad, who was the local minister here, and the regional minister, who was fighting at the side of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is the boldest leader, the boldest black man, the strongest that we have, the best that we have. He is the premier leader of today. And either you're with Farrakhan or you ain't on time. All praise is due to Allah. And Brother Wazir standing at his side, organizing the West Coast, organizing Los Angeles. Would you stand? Where is the minister? Minister Wazir Muhammad, Minister Farrakhan's representative here in Los Angeles. This is called Black History and Culture Month. It's a great month for celebration, but it is really disrespect. For a no good, lying, conniving, scheming, ruthless, devious devil, a two-tongued, double-dealing devil, to give us a week or a day or a month to discuss our infinity in time, when he has 365 days to discuss his moment in time. It's really disrespect to us. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that of all our studies, history is best qualified and most attractive to reward our research. He says that history develops the springs and motives for human action, for human activity. That if we know what happened yesterday, we can intelligently discuss today, because today is built on yesterday and tomorrow is built on today. Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who is considered the founder of Black History Day, Black History Week, or Black History Month, in his great and illuminating book, The Miseducation of the Negro, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, in The Miseducation of the Negro, talks about the condition of the so-called educated mind. He talks about the so-called lower institutions of learning, higher institutions of learning, and how we come out of these institutions, what state of mind we are in, what condition we are in, and if we are indeed made qualified to do something for ourselves and to bring about liberation and salvation for the black nation. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that education comes from two Latin words, duco or educare. E, we're familiar with E. It's the same E as in evict. It's the same E that is in exit. E means out of or out from. And duco or ducare, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teach us that duco or ducare means to draw or to lead. So education, the process of education is to lead or to draw out of one that which Almighty God has already naturally and divinely deposited in that one. And so the question is, are you being properly educated? Are you receiving an education at Cal State, Long Beach? Are you receiving an education? Are you going to get a degree that will make you free? Or are you going to get a degree that will make us fools and tools and servants for white America and burden bearers for white America? These are questions that we must ask ourselves. Yes, we must get the degree. Yes, we must study every textbook that the white man puts in front of us. But know that under the textbook that the white man puts in front of us is a root knowledge that comes from the original black man and the original black woman. Know that he has plagiarized. Know that the white man is not the father of music. Know that the white man is not the father of medicine. Some cracker named Hippocrates. Hippocrates is a hypocrite. And so the doctors in the medical field take the hypocritical or the Hippocratic oath. But revered as the god of medicine was a little black man from northeast Africa at that time called Kemet, a little black man named Imhotep. Imhotep was worshipped as the god of medicine. He was worshipped as the god of medicine, not only in Africa, but he was worshipped as the god of medicine throughout Europe and the known world of his day. Why don't the doctors take the Imhotep oath? Why are they taking the Hippocratic oath when Hippocrates was not even a twinkle in his mother's eye or his daddy's eye? Even his mama and daddy for hundreds of years had not even been born when Hippocrates was considered the god of medicine. He was one of the great mathematicians, one of the great astronomers and astrologers. He was considered not only that, but he laid the plans for the step pyramid at Saqqara, as it is called today. Imhotep, our father, our ancestor. Don't be alarmed when I say he was the god of medicine. That's exactly what he was. How many of you saw the slam dunk competition the other night? Brother Skywalker from New York. He was the god of that night. Huh? When Michael Jordan comes down the court, when little Spud Webb comes down the court, when Isaiah comes, when Magic comes doing his magic, these are the gods of basketball. A man who can receive the football in the end zone and run it 100 yards and do the icky shuffle on the other end of the field, that's one of the gods of football. These are gods. They're not on the plane with the Almighty and the All-Wise God. They're not on the same plane with the Creator, but they are the gods in the sphere of theirs. Is now waving the banner of we should all be called African Americans. You say, well, that sounds pretty good to me. Sounds pretty good to me. But it's only branch knowledge. It's baby knowledge. That little black man from Sandersville, Georgia, brothers and sisters, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and his prime student, Minister Louis Farrakhan. These are the two men that you should keep your eyes fixed on and your ears fixed to. Louis Farrakhan is the timekeeper of the day. If I had lived in the day of Garvey, Garvey was the timekeeper of his day, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We should have kept our eyes and our ears fixed on Mr. Garvey. I wouldn't have been in some little back room, some little side street movement, fooling myself, lying to myself. 3 or 4 or 5 of us in the masses of our people catching hell. I would have been with Marcus Mosiah Garvey. I would have been with Garvey because Garvey made impact on the lives of black people. I would have been with Garvey because Garvey brought about change in the lives of black people. And so there was nowhere else I could have been except with Garvey. Nat Turner, going from plantation to plantation. No real major ideology and philosophy or movement, but Nat Turner was moving. They were killing white folks from plantation to plantation. Hell, there was nobody else to be with but Nat. Me and you and Nat. From plantation to plantation. I believe in peace if possible, but violence when necessary. I believe in peace if possible, but violence if necessary. That's right. Hell, I'm not going to be marching and carrying no damn sign and don't knock the hell out of you with the sign and you come sicking dogs on me, turning water hoses loose on me, bringing tapes in the streets against me. I saw Natalie Cole the other night. Girl sang her heart out, didn't she? Singing, what did she sing? America the Beautiful, or My Country 'Tis of Thee. I said, look at the slave singing. I mean, the slave was singing that song. I heard Ray Charles sing it. I mean, this guy singing. I mean, and she ends by saying, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Where has Natalie been? Where have they been? Where has Ray Charles been? How can they sing these songs and you clap for them, you applaud them, you praise them? I say to you that we need to listen. You don't have to join him now. Listen to Louis Farrakhan. Listen to him give you the teachings verbatimly of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, why do I touch on this term, African American? You say you got a lot of nerve coming here if you're going to tell us that we shouldn't be called African American. We just learned yesterday that we were African. Yeah, we're African. And now you're going to come and tell us that Reverend Jackson shouldn't call us African Americans? Well, let's look at it. Are you willing to spend, don't worry about me being too long because I got to catch a plane in a little while and go to Howard University in D.C. So just stick with me for a few moments. We're going to put Negro up, African. We're talking about a proper education of black people during this Black History Month. And we're talking about that education being proper and black because we're trying to get away from black. And I'm here tonight to say that we must be black by popular demand. For those of you who already know this, kick back for a minute. Colored, Negro, African, American, black. Yeah, we got so many names. Valalian. Colored, black, Valalian, Negro, African, American, Afro-American. And any more? Let's look at it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad had to take an examination called the first term examination. And the first part of that examination was called student enrollment. It said student enrollment, rules of Islam. The following questions must be answered 100% before submittance of student to said lesson number 1. Who is the original man is the first one. And the answer is, the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. Some say that the old lesson said, who is the original man? And the answer was, the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe. But we go by the lessons that we have today, and father of civilization is not there, for it is implied God of the universe. So let's put this term up, A-S-I-A-T-I-C, Asiatic. You say, hey, this thing is getting awfully confused. Now, why would a people have so many names? Hell, it's because they don't know who in the hell they are. One say, I'm colored. One says, I'm black. One says, no, I'm Bilalian. One says, I'm Afro-American. I'm African-American. I'm Negro. I'm Asiatic. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in that second question and answer that he had to give to his teacher, Allah in the person, Master Farad Muhammad. And I'll have a brief question and answer period. I dropped that for those who wanted to debate it. You'll be free to do that as soon as the question and answer period rolls around. I came with my guns loaded. Not shooting from the hip, just shooting from the lip. The second one says, who is the colored man? Says the colored man is the Caucasian white man, Yakub's grafted devil, the skunk of the planet Earth. Now, why is the white man called the colored man? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says this suffix and this ending makes all the difference in the world. Yes, the suffix or the ending, ed, a colored man. You, brother and sister, are not the colored man. You are not the colored woman. E-D, C-O-L-O-R-E-D. Let's look at it. What is a pitted pear? With ED at the end. Is that a pear that you put the pits in? Or is that a pear that you take the pits out of? Which one? You can talk it. Is that a pear that you put the pits in or take the pits out? Take them out. What is a stoned peach? It's not drum. What is a stoned peach? Is that a peach that you put the stone in or a peach that you take the stone out of? Huh? Take it out, right? What is a boned chicken? Is that a chicken that you put bones into, or is that a chicken that you take the bones out of? Then what is a colored man? Or a colored woman? Is that a man or a woman that you put color into, or is that a man or a woman that you take the color out of? Talk to me. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the white man is the colored man. I was reading Brother Carol Bond's great and illuminating work today on melanin, the key to black greatness, just today. And our great brother up north, Dr. Richard King, who has done great work dealing with melanin and the importance of melanin as a key to black greatness. And in looking at it, actually, brothers and sisters, white people have very little melanin in their skin. You understand that? The degree of melanin in the body determines energy storing, energy gathering. It means that you can draw from the energy of the sun and the energy of the universe and the powers of the universe. the less melanin you have, the more you repel energy, repel sunlight, repel the powers of the universe. And the more you have, the more you pull in. So white people are the colored people, for they have lost color. They are actually a people that Dr. Francis Cress Welsing calls a genetically deficient people that have a constant fear of genetic annihilation. Is that what Francis said? Sure. Bad black woman, isn't she? She debated that racist William Shockley, who won the Nobel Prize and left Shockley in shock when she got through with it. So a colored man or woman is a man or woman who's had the color taken out of them, not a people who have had color added to them. And when have you ever been anything other than black? Some may have wanted some color taken out of them. Those who get their operations and changing the structure of their noses, you know some of them. Let's skip this one for a moment. Negro, we said a little earlier, means dead. And it comes out of the Greek and Latin language, any C-R-O, any G-R-O, and any K-R-O. C, G, and K, all three, I'm going to run right through this, all three are interchangeable. To use the C, the K, or the G does not alter the meaning of the term. Right. Necrophobia is what? Is a what? It's a what?
Fear of death.
It's a fear of what? Fear of death. I don't want to be in this all by myself. I want to see you on it. You say, see, there he is. He's participating too. She's participating too. What is a necropolis? A dead city, or could be a cemetery, or it could be a ghost town. What's a necromaniac? First of all, that's a fool. A necromaniac is one who goes into the graveyard and digs up the graves of the dead. And get in there and take the dead man's suit off and wear the suit. That's not where I got this suit. And take the dead woman's dress off and wear the dead woman's dress. Some of them are so freaky in America until they take their clothes off and take the dead folks' clothes off and get in the casket and close the lid and rock the casket with the dead. That's a necromaniac in scientific terminology, but a damn fool in color. But necro means dead. Negro means dead. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us. And so when the white man put the name Negro on us, it was not to determine the pigmentation of our skin, the degree of melanin content, the development of our melanocytes, but it was to determine the darkened state of our mind, and that they had robbed us so completely of a knowledge of self, robbed us of our name, our language, our religion, our culture, and our God, robbed us completely of a knowledge of ourselves. And so they called us Negro. Now, then after you hear color and Negro, the white man used to make us spell Negro with a small n.
Yeah, that's right.
If he caught a nigga, that's what he called us. If he caught a nigga spelling Negro on an application with a capital N, some Negroes he would slap the hell out of. Some Negroes. Not all. He didn't allow us to spell it with a capital N. We had to spell it with a small n. Had to spell color with a small c. Now, after hearing Negro and color, you might say, well, African American, that's a great name. First of all, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in his great and illuminating book, Message to the Black Man in America, under the section, What is Un-American? He actually tells us that we could never be American. How are you going to be an American? Well, you're getting ready to lie. Well, I was born in America, kittens born in the oven don't make them biscuits or cornbread just because they're born in the oven. You're not an American. If you were an American, then you would have the rights and the liberties and the freedom of Americanism. You wouldn't need a civil rights organization fighting to put laws on the book. You would automatically have the laws already. If you were an American, there would be no NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People in 1989. There would be no National Urban League. If you already were an American, you wouldn't be pushing. You would already be in. You would be shoving. If you were already an American, you wouldn't have no organization called PUSH. This is madness. Somebody has to say it. So I'm going to say it. It's madness. We don't have civil rights. We have not been accepted as full citizens of America. You can lie to yourself because some Negro is running for president. He should be run out of town. He shouldn't be running for nothing but running for the border. Selling us, what was Sister's poem, selling us American pie, apple pie and the American dream. That's all it is. It makes us believe in America. And the white man pushes Jesse out there. Gives him prime time television. Gives him Time magazine. U.S. News and World Report. Gives him the late night news, the early morning news, and the midday news. It's an old saying that we should support whatever the enemy opposes and oppose whatever the enemy supports. I say we should support whatever the enemy opposes and oppose whatever the enemy supports. If the enemy supports it, how can it be good for you? If the enemy is against it, you better check it out because it's probably for you. Support whatever the enemy opposes and oppose whatever the enemy supports. If the enemy gives something or someone to you, get back and check it.
That's right.
So, we are not American. This land was the land of the black man and the black woman. You say, wait a minute, I think you've got your history a little mixed up. Come on. This is the red man's land. Well, 16,000 years ago, so teaches Elijah Muhammad and Louis Farrakhan, 16,000 years ago, there at the Bering Strait, crossing over from that part of Asia into now what is called Alaska, down through Canada, into North America, down through Central America, on down into South America. This is Black History Month, right? The first people to come that route were jet black people who time and circumstance and atmospheric change and condition has changed them to be called the red people of today. The original people that came that route were black people. But even if you don't want to accept that, you know they weren't white. Until a cracker named America's Vespucci. I got to call him a cracker. It's one of the most despicable things that could be done. It's all right, brothers, I'm working. Thank you. I don't want them to miss nothing else. These brothers, they're all right. They're really here just to help everybody. They're here to help anyone who, give instructions. You might need to get to the restroom or get a drink of water. And they're also here to make sure that you don't hurt yourself on your way up here and stop us from teaching the truth. An international champion in karate. Some of you know him, Brother Steve Muhammad. You know him under his slave name, Steve X. Sanders. Some of you have seen him in the movies, Hilary the Dragon and Fire-Breathing Dragon and One-Armed Swordsman and Blind Karate Champion and all of them. You know them crazy karate flips. But brother brings sanity to it all. You've seen him in the movie. He's an usher. just to help, just to help. That's all. Brothers here to help. All of these brothers, give them a hand. I mean, they're great ushers. They're here to help. So, all of these brothers. The sisters that you see on post, they're here to help. Let's get back to this. Now, this, I called him a cracker, right? America's Vespucci. He was an Italian white man. Can you imagine the arrogance? To come over here and somebody decides to put your name, your white name, on some dark-skinned people that are already here? And another half-cracker named Christopher Columbus. Say Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492. That's like telling me that I can come into your house and you're at home asleep, and I can come in and discover your TV and your VCR, and discover your jewelry in the jewelry box, and discover your money on the dresser. Huh? Brother, that's like saying I can come into your home and you're asleep and discover your wife in the bedroom. And when they take me to jail and take me to court, I say, oh, no, Your Honor, you got this all wrong, sir. I discovered this TV set. Man's Eldorado, I discovered the keys. The BMW, the Mercedes-Benz, I discovered the keys. And when I went outside, lo and behold, I discovered a car was in the garage. And I just drove off with it. This white man wouldn't accept nothing like that from any of us, would he? No. I know you got one or two whites that were in the audience. They gone now. When the truth starts falling, they run like cockroaches. But this is not meant to embarrass white people. But when you lie to the world, somebody has to tell the truth. They did not discover America. There were people living here already, had been here close to 16,000 years. A wonderful family structure. They were working the land. A very wise people. A cultured and refined people. A great and a mighty people were already here when the white man came. And he named it America after an Italian, European white man named America's Vespucci. Now, do you want to be named after a white man?
No, sir.
Well, some of you say, well, a rose is a rose by any other name, and it's just as sweet. You just as silly as you can be. Don't you know if you call that rose doo-doo long enough, it's going to start stinking one day? As a man or a woman thinketh, so is she. So is he. Once the mind is programmed, there's a certain manifestation and crystallization, and that thought comes into the world of reality. Have you seen sissies? I mean, with deep, deep, deep voices. Cat have razor bumps all over their face. And soon as Paul decide he want to be Paula, Willie decide he want to be Willie Mae, he start thinking on being Willie Mae, and that deep voice go down to, I'm so happy to receive this award. Really, I deserve it because I'm bad. Any resemblance to any person's living or dead is not a coincidence. The names have been changed to protect the guilty. But when Willie decides to put down Willie and pick up Willie Mae, thinks on being Willie Mae hard enough, long enough, strong enough, the razor bumps leave the face. Face gets smooth as a baby's boot. Yeah. Voice gets sweet. Shortens up those steps. Touch them big, male, beautiful African lips in. Put some red lipstick on, some eyeshadow, And Willie begins to really look like Willie Mae. And sometimes if you ain't got some deep spiritual insight, boy, you be in serious trouble. Thinking you got Willie Mae and end up with Willie. But I'm trying to show you the power of the mind, the power of thinking, the power of the mind. So a name is important. Don't you believe that we can accept any name and it's okay? Some of you were Harry McGillicuddy, Jim Dandy O'Houlihan, huh? George Washington Carver O'Reilly, Mr. Underwood, Miss Overbrook, I'm Miss Sneed, Miss Snodgrass, Mr. Dangerfield, nigga named Workman, enjoying unemployment. Ain't worked in 10 years. I'm Mr. Workman. This is my wife, Mrs. Workman, and this is John Workman and little Kathy Workman. We're just as crazy as we can be. Nigga named Branch. No, you're not a tree. My slave name was Van. I look like a damn truck to you. Named Van. I look like walking somewhere telling them I'm Van. Johnny Moore. And most of the time, Johnny is less. You're talking about I'm more. Excuse me if I'm hitting on their name that you're still wearing. Well, I'm a member of Jama too. Are you really? Of course you are. Your dedication shows that. The work that you have done shows that. Now you got to make quicker steps, a faster pace toward your black self, because the time demands that you be black by popular demand. Stop ducking black, Peckerwood, with these fancy sociological terms. Minorities. I'm a minority. Well, you know, most of the minorities, minorities live in Jordan Downs, fool. The minorities in the Pueblos, the minorities in South Central Los Angeles, and the minorities in Watts. You're just as crazy as you can be. You're out of your mind. We're not the minority. We outnumber the Peckerwood 11 or 12 to 1 on the face of the planet Earth. But he calls us a minority to separate us from our family, to separate us from the world family. So he calls us a minority. You're the majority. And the first at that, the original black man and the original black woman. So America is the name of a white man. You say, well, I can halfway go along with, I can't call myself African American. All right, that's just me. I don't know about you, but I'm going to erase it for me. Right? I'm not dead. I don't know about you, but I'm going to erase it for me. All right. Hey, black as the old folks say, black as I is, I ain't colored. I don't know about you, but I'm erasing it for me. Oh, yeah. We getting on down. Balalian. Spiritually, that's a good name. Spiritually, when you really look at it, there's some substance to that. But let's get off of the branch and go down the trunk of the tree of wisdom to the root knowledge that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is teaching us. When we go to root knowledge, then we get away from the branch. We respect the branch, but we go to the root. And root knowledge says that we don't want to be named after a slave named Bilal. Root knowledge says we don't want to be named after a man. Huh? I'm not a Mohammedan. I'm not a Farrakhan. Sometimes I'm a Farrakhan, but I'm not a Farrakhan. No, we don't do that. That's not what we do as a people. It's not even what other intelligent people do. Other people are named after what? The land mass from which they originated. But I'm going to show you from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Louis Farrakhan how we're even different from that. Chinese are called Chinese because they come from where? Japanese are called Japanese because they come from where? Ghanaians come from where? Nigerians come from where? Zimbabweans come from where? Where's Negroville? Where's Negro Street? Where's Coloredville? Where's Colored Street? Doesn't exist, does it? But we are unique. We are different in a sense. But you've got to appreciate the wisdom and the depth of the supreme wisdom of this man, Elijah Muhammad, or you will not be able to be a free, proud, and productive people, a people who achieve liberation and salvation for the black nation. We will always be wading around in the shallow water of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And we will never get to the deep end. And we will never get to supreme wisdom. What do you want? That which is less than the wisdom of the white world? Is that what you want? No. You want that which is equal to the wisdom of the white world? No. You want that which is greater than the wisdom of the white world. Then let's look at Elijah. Let's look at Farrakhan. Balalian. Good name. But it's not for me. Can I identify with Balal? Yes. Can we identify with him as a people? Yes. The great spiritual caller of the people to the path of Almighty God and to the devotion of Almighty God. Yes, we can relate to that. It's on the way, but it just hasn't quite gotten there yet. It's like a baby this Black History Month. A baby taking steps. My son Kalfani is in the audience. His mother, Mahasin, is here. I remember when he was taking his first steps. We were proud of his first steps. You don't say, well, look at him falling all down. You say, that's not walking. Who does a baby like that? No, when a baby makes the first step, no matter how wobbly it is, no matter if the baby falls back on its backside, you're happy that the baby, and sister here said, you're right, you're happy that the baby makes its first step. So these are all steps. But as the Bible says, we are not what we were yesterday. We won't be tomorrow what we are today. We think we're where we're going, but we're just on our way. We haven't made it yet. These are baby steps. We're on our way. What about, we can really merge these two and just deal with Africa. What about Africa? Are we Africans? Are we Africans? Are we Africans? No, sir. Wait. Well, in the true sense of what it's supposed to mean, we are an African people. No question about it. We just as African as we can be, or Africans as we can be, in the true sense of understanding what it means. We are indeed an African people. But where did this name come from? Good question. Did it come from a black man? No. Did it come from a black woman? No, sir. Did it come from God Almighty, or did it come from the devil? Listen to the devil. Is it a name from God, or is it a name from the devil? Who was Africanus? Good question. Was Africanus a white man or a black man? Was Africanus from the original black family or the black nation or the creator's nation or the God family or the God tribe? Or was Africanus a European white man from the devil's nation? What's the difference in Africanus and America's Vespucci? You better wake up. But do we criticize being called African and calling ourselves African? No. Today, no. It's the baby making a step. Step on, baby. Yes, sir. You come a long way, baby. But we got a long way to go. Africa is named for Africanus, a white man. Ain't no good to put a white label on God's black product. Ain't gonna work. So you're gonna drop one white name, America, and pick up two white names. Makes no difference about the color, black, brown, red, or yellow, whatever Jesse says, all that stuff. But bless his heart, he doesn't know any better. He's doing the best he can. He's just an opportunist baby. During the entire campaign, he wouldn't even relate to us. Even the white man was calling him out on the news every day. Reverend Jesse Jackson, who seems to be leaning toward the white vote, and he's courting the white vote, he took us for granted. Right. You know he did. He did. But now that the election is over, Dukakis dumped him. Did a poor man all the great work that Reverend Jackson did. Didn't he do a great work? I mean, all the great work he did, and Dukakis didn't even give him a phone call. He didn't even say, Jesse, well, I want you to know, you did a good job. But I can't go no further. I can't have no nigga running mate. I'm getting me a cold cracker from Texas. When that where he was from? Get me a cracker with oil around his collar in his red neck. So he wouldn't choose Jesse as his vice presidential running mate. Plus, he didn't really give Jesse any respect at the convention. They let him speak because they said that's all the nigga want to do is talk. Let the nigga talk. Give him a microphone. He'll be happy. Get a baby a rat. Let the baby play. But when it comes down to the real deal, we ain't got no time for the baby. He's a mannequin. You see the mannequins look good as hell in the window. Mannequins be wearing them dresses. Mannequins wear the hell out of them suits, don't they? But when you get ready to go shopping, you don't stop and talk to no mannequin. Who deals with the mannequin in the window? They go inside where the real folks are, where the real business is being taken care of. They don't deal with the window dressing. And that's all we do. Then we're going to give Jesse Jackson, say, give him a plane, let him fly around. Give him an office on the second floor of the basement. Let the nigga be seen. Sitting there skinning and grinning all day. When he go home, Jackie have to massage his jaws from grinning all day. Why am I talking like this? Because the battle is for the minds and hearts of our people. And we can't be duped. As Public Enemy said, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. This is nothing but hype. American flags and apple pie and cherry pie and Negroes running for president. Negroes singing, my country 'tis a sweet land of liberty. Nigga, you lying to your teeth. Sweet land of liberty. Land of the free. White folks. Home of the brave. Cowards. Liars and hypocrites. And we wave the banner and wave the flag. We're good Americans. Jesse Jackson said that he would be a good president for all the people. We don't need a leader like that. We need a leader that's going to be for us. Anytime anybody else is considered, we get left out. Want a leader that's for the black man and for the black woman only. Respect other people. Be courteous to other people. Respect those who respect us, no matter if they're black, brown, red, yellow, or white. Respect all people that respect us. But we need somebody who's for us. Not for everybody, this hodgepodge of humanity. Some kind of rainbow, and the white man is Rambo. We clowning and he's cloning. Doesn't make any sense.
That's right.
So this term African, if you study J.A. Rogers, at one point he pointed out, Professor J.A. Rogers pointed out that in its etymological root it meant the lands of the savage and unbelieving people, the disbelieving people. The white man called us infidels. It is kin to, in its etymological root, Africa, to the term Kappa or Kafrika, which is the term that is used in so-called South Africa, which is the equivalent to nigger in America. So why put down one white term and pick up two white names? It's fine. We are African people. And we'll use it sometimes just for the sake of growing up. We'll use it sometimes. But it ain't good enough all the time.
That's right.
You say, well, now, how can we be Asiatic? Oh, I know what it is. Elijah Muhammad and Louis Farrakhan got y'all all hooked up in that Muslim bag. And y'all trying to identify with the Arabs over there in Asia somewhere. No, that's not it. It teaches us that the planet Earth is 196,940,000. I've been in the penitentiary a while, but I ain't forgot. Square mile. 196,940,000 square miles. That's the total land and water, the total area of the planet Earth. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teach us that we are the original black man and the original black woman. We are the original people of the planet Earth. That Africa is not our home. Africa is our throne. I'm going to repeat it. Come on. Africa is not our home. Africa is our throne. Africa is the throne that we sat on. And we ruled the world from the throne called Africa today. If you would lay a flat map out and have the picture of the anatomy and the physiology of the body, and you could see the human heart set into the human body, and look at the flat map, you will see Africa in the same position on a flat map that the human heart is in the human body. So Africa was the throne that we sat on. And from Africa we pumped life to the world. From Africa we pumped civilization, music, art, mathematics, law, government. We pumped it all of the disciplines of the world. We pumped it to them. We pumped it to the Caucasian white man, crawling around on his all fours in the caves and hills of Europe, eating his meat raw, eating juniper roots and cohabitating and having intercourse with dogs and calling the dog man's best friend. That's right. It's true. Eating his meat raw, still eats it raw. Going to these restaurants and order a rare steak with the blood swimming in the plate. You trying to be like white folks and you going out and they say, well, how will you have your steak? I'll have mine rare. Did you hear, sister? She said more fruits and juice and less sweets and meats. She said more beans and less greasy green. She said honey bean pie. You heard her? So, I'm saying this to say that when we look at it in true perspective, the whole earth is the home of the black man and black woman. But Africa is the heart that we pumped life and civilization to the rest of the world from. It is our throne and not our home. Our home is 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth. It is 76 quintillion miles throughout the distance of the diameter of the Earth. And we walk around on 139,685,000 square miles of water and 57,255,000 square miles of land every day, and draw from the waters and use them. That is our home. Who is the original Japanese? The original Japanese is a jet black man and a jet black woman. Who is the original Chinese? The original Chinese is a jet black man and a jet black woman. Who is the original Hawaiian? The original Australian? The original South American, Central American? Who is the original European? You studied J.A. Rogers when he talks about the Grimaldis. And even the Grimaldis don't go far enough for back, but they go far enough for us. The Grimaldis, at the root of European civilization, are jet black people. In fact, the white man is not a citizen of the earth. He's not a native of any place. You ever been anywhere and they call the white man a native? I go to the natives. They never call him a native because he's an alien to the planet Earth. He even has clubs that he called the Odd Club. He knows who he is. He is the Odd Fellow. So the whole earth is our home. That is why we wear, after Master Farad Muhammad came and taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he taught Minister Louis Farrakhan, you see us, ain't got nothing to do with no Arabs, ain't got nothing to do with just a book or a place called Mecca or some religion that you haven't heard about called Islam. But when you really know about that, you'll change your mind about that. But at this flag, we wear this flag because this flag is the sun, moon, and star. The sun, 853,000 miles in diameter, approximately 2,679,785 miles in circumference, burning at the terrific temperature of 14,072 degrees Fahrenheit. It shines on the good and it shines on the bad. It shines freely on the total of the creation and that which was made also and not created. The sun is a symbol of freedom in the universe. And the star is a symbol of justice. And the crescent is a symbol of equality because it is the moon that equalizes the waters of the earth and keeps them in check. Otherwise, the 139,685,000 square miles of water, so teaches the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that 139,685,000 square miles of water would drown out the 57,255,000 square miles of land because it is 2/3 water and only 1/3 land. And the physics law says that water seeks its own level. But if it were not for the strong attracting power of the moon pulling on the waters of the earth, controlling the monthly cycle of the system, controlling the sap that runs in the trees, and controlling the waters of the earth. You see the water out at the ocean, how the water rolls out and then the tides leap up like they're trying to get away from here. It's because the moon is pulling on the waters of the earth. So the moon equalizes things. That's why when you have an eclipse, you have floods in different places. Because that pull, that jet on the water has been interfered with. So this symbol represents freedom, justice, and equality. It represents the universal flag of the black man. It represents the universal flag of the black woman. Yes, I believe in the red, the black, and the green. The red of the blood of ours that has been spilled. And the red of our enemies' blood that must be spilled. That's right. That's why the cracker rolls out a red carpet when Margaret Thatcher, the bulldog-looking woman, comes over from England. You used to see the old cracker Ronald Reagan roll out a red carpet. Now Bush has run out and crawled out of the bushes. Talk about a kinder, gentler America. What about a bolder, colder America? Do you know who this cracker Bush is? This cracker is the CIA man. Don't believe the hype? A kinder, gentler America from the CIA boss? This man is an international criminal. This man is an international murderer. An international murderer. The CIA uproots, destabilizes, and overturns governments. Yes, they do. I've got an article from Harper's Magazine, CIA covert activity, on how they went into different nations all over the earth and have to make 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 attempts sometime to kill an African leader, or to kill a leader in Asia, or to kill a leader in one of the islands, and then they put their man in power. In 1954, they killed Mohammed Mossadegh in Iran. Oh, the Iranian leader that was for his people. They killed Mohammed Mossadegh. Thousands of the Iranian people killed in the streets under the CIA. That old George Herman Walker. Is that the correct name? Bush. What's that? George Herbert Walker Bush. Yeah, that is a name like that. George Herbert Walker Bush. That sounds like that song we used to sing when I was a little boy called John Jacob Henry. But can you imagine? I'm going to get back to this. Here he is, the CIA's director. They killed Mohammed Mossadegh. Who did they put in power? The Shah of Iran. Their man. They had King Idris in power in Libya. And a young man rose up from the ranks of the masses named Muammar al-Gaddafi. Gaddafi rose up from the ranks. A young man, your age and younger, rose up from the ranks, a young revolutionary, and say no more days of these puppet governments of King Idris in the hip pocket of England and America. Rose up and on September 1st waged a revolution and changed the name of Libya to Jamahiriya, the state of the masses. Money and economy in the hands of the people. Education in the hands of the people. Arms and weapons in the hands of the people. Power and government in the hands of the people. Jamahiriya, the state of the masses. The same thing happened in Ghana of Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah. Overturned and toppled the legitimate government of our great brother Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah. Overturned and toppled the legitimate government of brother Patrice Lumumba in what was called the Congo that is now Zaire, and put the puppet in Sese Mobutu, who just had a big party for P.W. Botha in Africa, on our land, in our nation. He has a big party, but they roll out the red carpet. Why do they roll out the red carpet? Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Louis Farrakhan say they roll out the red carpet because the red carpet means that it's drenched, it's soaked in the blood of the peoples of the earth, black, brown, red, and yellow, and their own people. So when they step out of the limousine and step on the red carpet and walk into the great hall, they're walking on the blood of the nations of the earth. That's what he teaches us, that is the symbolism behind the red carpet. So, the whole earth, this flag is ours. But the red, black, and green, yes, it's ours again. And the black represents our people, our nation. The green represents our children and our future. The green also represents land, which is the basis of independence. We can't just take a city back. We can't just take a state back. We just can't take Africa back. We got to take the whole planet back. This caveman has gone mad on the whole earth. Messed up everything and everybody. But we got to take it a step at a time. We got to take the whole thing back. So we are called Asiatic black man and woman because at one time the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says the whole earth, the whole 196,940,000 square miles was called Asia. You ever heard the white man talk about Asia Minor? Well, what in the hell, you ain't never asked him about Asia Major. Huh? He told you about Asia Minor, but you didn't ask him about Asia Major. The whole earth was called Asia. It was North Asia, South Asia, East Asia, and West Asia. Not just some little continent. We're not identifying with no Asian continent. We're identifying with the whole thing, man. The whole thing, woman. That's what we're dealing with. You're the people of the earth. You're the people of the universe. That's who you are. God's people, the Creator's nation, the God nation. So you're called the Asiatic black man and woman because that is the original name of the planet at one time. And everywhere anybody went, I don't care what people they were, when they got there, we were already there to look them in the face. Or we had left our footprints in the sands of time when they arrived. Or we had built our monument and left our monument there for them to marvel over when they arrived. So we are called the Asiatic black man. He says we're called black. We're called black because black is the essence of everything. Everything comes out of blackness. I don't care what it is, it comes out of blackness. Even your Bible says, in the beginning, blackness. In the beginning, darkness covered the earth. And out of the darkness came the light. So even in darkness was light. Light had to come out of the darkness. I don't care if it's the sperm or semen that is emitted in the triple blackness of the womb of mother. It is out of the triple blackness of the womb of mother that light comes out of that blackness to manifest itself in the light of the sun. If it's a thought, if it's an idea, if it's a philosophy, if it's an ideology, it comes out of the blackness, the triple blackness of the black mind. Comes out of the mind into the light of the sun. Melanin means black. And at the base or the root of it all is another point called the substantia nigra, which means black substance. That's the core of it all. Don't duck this. Don't let somebody pull you away from black. You are the generation to bring black back. There is popular demand for you to be your black self. That's the call this Black History Month, for you to be your black self and stop calling yourself a minority and calling yourself by all of these other names. That is miseducation. That is not true education. My last words as I run out of here to the airport. Check this man, Louis Farrakhan, out. The white man is scared of him. Scared to death of him. You should see him when he walks through the airport. That's him. Why do they act like that? They act like that because when they see him, they see a new day for the black man and woman. They see the rise of the black man and woman. They see the spiritual son of Marcus Garvey. They see the spiritual son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They see the spiritual son of Fannie Lou Hamer. They see the spiritual son of Kandasi and Nzinga and all of the greats who have come before. They see in Louis Farrakhan freedom, justice, and equality for the black man and woman. For they know he comes from the root teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They feared his father and they fear him. We're not going anywhere to gain knowledge just for the sake of knowledge. Knowledge for knowledge's sake means nothing. Just to say, I know I read this book and I read that book and I read The Destruction of Black Civilization by Dr. Chesterton. I read How Europe Underdeveloped Africa by Dr. Walter Wright. I read the Hosea by Dr. edited and compiled by Dr. Maulana Correct. I read Dr. Bishop. I read Dr. J. Correct. I read Dr. Ivan Serta. I read Dr. Naeem Akbar. I read this one, and I read that one, and I read the other one. So what? Where do you go now that you've read these greats? What are you going to do now that you have the knowledge? What arena do you have? Where have you established an arena to practice your blackness in? Where's your army? As Brother Malik Muhammad was saying when he was up here. Where's your army, black man? Stop looking for excuses to punk out. Army? You don't need no army, man. We do need an army. That's right. Running around here talking about a gang problem. Ain't supposed to be no gang problem. If we came with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and gave direction to our young brothers, they're already an army. That's right. They'll stand up and take this. They were born to do that. They're just waiting for those who can help give them direction to stand up. They're waiting to hear the voice of the Messiah. And that voice comes and rings clear from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He's the man. Don't wait 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years, or your children and my children and their children's children will be talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan the way we talk about Mr. Garvey today. How great Garvey was. Hell, we're here today with Minister Farrakhan. Why won't we stand with him and build a broad-based mass black movement among black people? Build a broad-based mass black movement among black people. Bring your skills, bring your expertise, bring your knowledge, bring yourself. Follow the leader that God has blessed us with today. Follow the man that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has left for us as a fit guide for us today. Why not do that? Brothers and sisters, as I close out, thanking you for being as attentive as you have been and maybe in a position to take one or two questions, I greet you. Assalamu alaikum. Very quickly, you have one or two questions before we go. Brothers, I hope we got everything in the car, baggage, everything, so we can run straight to the airport. Are there any questions? Maybe one or two? Any questions? Brothers, sisters, Brother Quayle, is it all right to take questions? There you go. And don't get hung up on Brother Quayle's name. His name is Quayle. It means truth. He's registered with the Nation of Islam as Brother Keith 3X. Both of them bad names. So, I mean, there's no trip. Malcolm had two names. Even after Malcolm was given the name El-Hajj Malik Shabazz, he still wore Malcolm X on his briefcase, and when they asked him how long he would wear the name Malcolm X, he said, as long as the condition of our people exists the way it is today, I will wear this X. So he's Keith X. Three only meaning that there were two other Keiths there when he came in this particular city. But he's also a man of principle, a man of truth. He's Brother Quayle. So don't use that as an excuse, man. I ain't going over there. Took his name. Called him Chicken Little. Chicken Little 3X. I ain't going over there. Johnny Hamburger. Lettuce and tomato. No, he's Brother Quayle, and he's Brother Keith 3X, the same way Malcolm X was Malcolm X and El-Hajj Malik Shabazz. Huh? Same way Minister Farrakhan was Minister Louis Farrakhan and Minister Louis X from Boston. Ain't no facts. Yes, sir.
I'd like to say it's great to see you back with among us again. You've always been with the spiritual.
Thank you, sir.
And my question is, you mentioned that the world belongs to us and that Africa, so-called Africa, was our throne. In terms of solutions, do you think that we should unify to recapture our throne? Or if not, what are our solutions?
Very good question. brother's question, repeating it, is I have stated that the whole earth is our home and that Africa is our throne. Do I feel that we should unify to recapture our throne, or what is the solution, if I'm correct? As Dr. Karanga would say, appreciate everything that's been said, and if I understood you correctly. Right. And I'm so happy to know that Dr. Karanga is here on the campus. And I failed to go by and see him, so all of you apologize for me when you see him tomorrow or the next day, because it's an African tradition that when you touch down in an African village or an African town, you always go in and see the elder, the MZ. You check in with the chiefs in that village. And I neglected to go and check in with all of the chiefs. I checked in with Brother Wazir. He picked me up at the airport. But Dr. Karanga didn't know even that I was coming in, so I neglected to go by and see him. And I intend to do that. So please give him my love and greeting when you see him, and tell him that I'll get that straight when I get back. First of all, my brother, Africa is a very complex and multicultural continent today. There are serious language barriers, serious ideological barriers, serious barriers that keep us divided and separated. Even in the OAU itself, we do not have an African language that we can communicate. This is the Organization of African Unity. We can't communicate in an African language because we don't understand each other. So we have to communicate in the OAU, in the Organization of African Unity, in English and in French. In the language of the colonial master and the oppressor, that's how we have to relate. So I'm simply saying the throne must be liberated. Home must be liberated. As Brother Kwame Ture, whom I love very much, head of the All African People's Revolutionary Party, and I consider myself a member of the AAPRP. I consider myself an advocate of Kawaida. I consider myself one of the members of the original African Hebrew Israelite nation. I consider myself a member of the Pan-African Christian Orthodox Church of Bishop Jeramogi and the Shrine of the Black Madonna. But above it all, I consider myself as one to get the back and be one of the main supporters of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the premier leader of today. So, I believe in the total liberation, the total unification and liberation of the African continent and all of our people, African people, wherever we are, but especially the continent. But I believe that the first Africans, quote unquote, that we must get together is these Africans that are right here in America. These Africans must be gotten together first. And as these Africans are gotten together, then we can get home together or our throne together on the continent. So I believe that ultimately we must do what you're saying. Africa is the richest continent in the world, and the richest, most spiritual people in the world are on that continent, or over the past 400 years have come from that continent. So we must get it together. If we are to ever be truly free, we must do that. But we must get these Africans free first. It's just like hanging them from a tree with a noose around your neck. And our African brother is across the way, and he's got a noose around his neck, and they tightening the noose around our neck, getting ready to kick the box out from under us. Then they tightening the noose, and we say, oh, we got to cut our brother down. Oh, over there. Oh, you got to cut yourself down, fool, first. Then you go and cut your brother down over there. So we've got to do the first things first, and the first work first. And we can't romanticize crossing the ocean, and we can't be just cheerleaders for the African liberation struggle. We've got to struggle here. Take off your little hula skirt and your cheerleader skirt and put your pom-poms down. Get down to the real nitty-gritty and lock in with Farrakhan. Did you know if he knew that 1 million of us was with Minister Farrakhan, or 5 million of us, this cracker would just have a heart attack and just die? It's conceivable. He almost has a heart attack when the man walks up by himself. What would he do with 5 million of us, 10 million of us? 10 million of us strong, Willing to die, yeah, but willing to kill too. You can't just die, you gotta kill. If you ain't willing to kill, you out of your mind. You don't want to just die. I'm willing to die for the cause. Hell, you gonna die anyway. Are you willing to kill for the cause? That's what. Are you willing to kill for the cause? I want to see my enemy die. That's right. I do want to see my enemy die. I'm tired of dying. I want to look down at him sometimes. Picture in the Final Call newspaper, and everyone should get a copy. We have copies here tonight. The Final Call newspaper, you should get a copy. It's got a picture of a cracker standing with his weapon in the air, standing over one of our young brothers in Florida, in Miami, standing over him in Liberty City, with his gun in his hand. I want to stand over my enemy with my piece in my hand, pose in front of camera. So, brother, I hope that answers your question. We've got to do the first work here first, then we take care of home, the throne. Yes. Sister Albany.
Recently, I was asked by one of my professors, do I feel there's a resurgence of racism in America? And I guess he asked that question because of the incident in what happened here in Boston with the police officer, and what's been happening in Miami and other places. My question to you is, do you see these as insulated incidents, or do you see these as precipitants to a revolution? And if you do, could you define what a revolution is, and what events must precipitate a revolution occurring?
Yes, ma'am. What you expect it to be? Right. Sister's question essentially was, first of all, stated that they're speaking to one of the professors that there seems to be a resurgence of racism in America. I work at the Urban Crisis Center in Atlanta with Dr. Charles King, who some of you have seen on Oprah Winfrey. You've seen him on the Donahue Show, and he's on Martin Downey's tomorrow night. That was his name, Martin Downey? Yeah. Look at him, check Dr. King out tomorrow night. He'll eat that cracker alive. Watch him tomorrow night on the Martin Downey Show. Dr. Charles King, the Urban Crisis Center. But he's a race relations specialist in the country, and he points out that the root of the problems that black people and all people, the Orientals, the Indians, that all people of color face is white racism in America. But anyway, he's going to be taught tomorrow night. Make sure to catch him. Now, is this a resurgence of racism, or these isolated examples? Is this the precipitant for a revolution? And what is a revolution? In my judgment, sister, it is not isolated. These are not isolated examples of racism. The white man never stopped being a racist. He never stopped hating us. He just updated his stuff. That's right. He's just more refined and skilled at his stuff. In fact, he's a master at what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Farrakhan calls a master at tricknology. They call him a master of tricknology because ology is the study of. He studies tricks and lies. He's a master of tricks and lies and deception. That's right. That's that old devil. That's him. He's the #1 deceiver of the planet Earth. Quran calls him the arch deceiver. And so he will pretend to be your friend. Remember, he came among the Indians. He didn't just come in with AK-47s, assault weapons, killing Indians. He came in smiling at you. He came in winking, oh buddy. How, oh buddy? How? Ugh. Hey, oh buddy. He learns to talk. Wear a pair of those old moccasins. It's slick, golly gee. Wow, far out, man. Let me have one of those coonskin caps, man. So he started wearing what the Indian was wearing. Then he learned everything about the Indian. Then they married some of the Indians. Did you see Eddie Murphy the other night on the Arsenio Hall show when he scooted up next to that on the couch? Did you see him? Did you see him? Did you see him? I say, Eddie, I thought you were better than that. I thought you were above that. But he's scooting up all of these eligible black women, and Eddie got to scoot up next to her. She didn't have nobody. She said she didn't have nobody. So Eddie said, hey, looking her up and down. What's her name? What's that dog? Sheila. What's her name?
Sheila.
That's a white woman. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
She's from Scotland.
Yeah.
Scotland? Well, Eddie look like a little Scotland dog. A Scottish Terrier. T-E-R-R-O-R. I'm coming back to you. But it hurt me to see Eddie do that. I want to see a principled black man, a principled black woman that's out there and will always be diplomatic and courteous with white people, everybody that's intelligent. But not to scoot up next to this white woman and even give them the impression that he wants a white woman like Sidney Poitier, like O.J. Simpson, like Diana Ross. All of them. So that hurt me when he did that. But nevertheless, this is something that has been going on. And they learn our ways and they marry us. Their women marry us and their men marry us and they learn all about it. So now they can dance like us. They used to be going up and they'd be coming down. They used to be popping on this beat and they'd be... And now they can hit it just like we hit it. Huh? They can sing and hit them notes just like we hit them. If you're not looking, you think it's us. They got white boys that can play basketball now. White boys that can slam dunk backwards. Huh? It's true. White boys that can run the football, do everything. So they're beginning to learn us the way they did the Indians. Then once they learn you and marry you and act like they're your friends, that's the way they take you over. That's the way they took Africa. That's the way they took this from our brothers and sisters of India. That's the way they do it. So racism never died. In fact, racism is worse according to the report that was just released by the Congressional Black Caucus with Congressman Merv Diamondley as the chairman, and just released by the National Urban League, Brother John Jacobs as the head. Those two reports show that black people are worse off today than we were 20 years ago. So it's getting worse and worse and worse. Is this the precipitant for revolution? First of all, revolution means complete constructive change by any means necessary. Revolution means complete constructive change by any means necessary. If it's necessary, then we must do it. If it ain't necessary, then we shouldn't do it. So don't get hung up on by any means. Get focused on necessary. If it's not necessary, then we don't have to do it. But if it's necessary, we must be found doing it. So revolution is complete constructive change by any means necessary. It uproots. It overturns. It overthrows the thinking process of the enemy that functions in our mind and in our hearts. It recognizes that the chains have been taken from our wrists and ankles and the chains have been placed on our brains. And so it removes the mental and psychological chains and shackles, as Dr. Naeem Akbar calls it, who have recently united and joined with Minister Louis Farrakhan again. Let's give Dr. Akbar a praise. Powerful black man, one of our best minds. So this is the foundation for revolution, because the more white people move on us, the more it will make us aware of the time in which we are now living, the time and what must be done. It will make us more and more aware. Yes, white people are planning genocide against us. They want to make sure that we don't have AK-47. Ain't that the weapon? They want to make sure they take all the AK-47s out of the hands of niggas. They ain't worried just about the gangs, but they are worried about the gangs. Because if each one of you, black men and black women, young black men, young black women, got with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan now and studied under him now and nursed his tapes and nursed his teaching, now you would be able to turn the gangs overnight into a powerful force among black people. And with AK-47 or whatever, or some AK wisdom in their heads, we would be able to turn this thing out overnight. But we're on the threshold of war and revolution now. We've got to go through the Red Sea. And the Red Sea in the Bible, when you cross through the Red Sea, it means that we've got to go through war, bloodshed, and revolution. We got to cross the Red Sea. The Pharaoh's army is going to be drowned in the Red Sea. That's why I don't want to be Pharaoh. When you run for president, you're running for Pharaoh. When you run for president, you're running for Herod. You want to be Pontius Pilate, fool. You want to be Caesar. I want to be Caesar. That's what you're saying. As Professor Ross said, why you want to be president of hell? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Louis Farrakhan say you shouldn't accept rooms in a burning house. You see the house is on fire, you trying to check in and get the penthouse. Smoke coming all out of the windows and you trying to get a seat in the house. And it's the White House anyway, fool. Smoke house is for smoking meat, right? A bathhouse is for what? A church house is for what? For what? A schoolhouse is for what? What is a White House for? It's for white folks. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. I love it, young brothers and sisters who were up here. We just haven't understood who the people is. The people is white folks. July 4th, 1776, this government was not set up of us, by us. Well, common sense would tell a fool it wasn't set up for us. So it's a government of the people, by the people, and for that people. But never for us. We were considered 3/5 of a human being at the time. This is the day of revolution. Minister Farrakhan is building for us, using the blueprints and the plans that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad left him to work with. He's building for us a national center for the re-education and retraining of the black man, woman, and child in America and throughout the world. He's building for us not a White House, but a what? A black house. Building for us our capital, our black house in Chicago, our national center, again, for the re-education and retraining of the black man and woman the world over. That's revolutionary. We need to lock in with the key revolutionary, the key freedom fighter of today, Minister Louis Farrakhan. White churches are arming themselves. The skinhead, ain't me. Them cats have hair on their head. I don't, a fly would slip and break his neck on mine. I shaved it just an hour before I came here. Slapped some baby oil on top of it. So that they talk about me when they say the skinhead, Ku Klux Klan, all of these devils. You better get ready, black man. And you in the hotbed of the Ku Klux Klan. They all up there. San Bernardino and Fontana and Rialto and Los Angeles. Long Beach. Your sister saying Long Beach State. Right here. I was reading in Wisconsin where some old devils ran into two of the black studies classrooms and threw stink bombs in the classroom while the black students were in their black studies class. I bet they wouldn't do that in Long Beach. Can you see them throwing a stink bomb in Professor Ross' class? It'll be some stink, all right. We'll be smelling them with that stuff that'll be in their pants when Professor Rye and you conscious, awakened students and enlightened students get through with it. But all campuses all over the country, whites are now attacking blacks right on the college campus. This means that white youth are now rising up to re-express themselves, to take charge of this thing. Remember, both the Democratic and the Republican Party didn't want to give the impression that they were liberal and that they were for niggers. Both wanted to give the impression that they were conservative and were going to be hard on niggers. Both fought hard to kill any impression that they were liberal, even the Democratic Party. Now, old Coretta, you know Coretta, she tucked her tail and now she's over there with Bush. She was sitting up there eating some pig feet with Bush. Bless her heart. She jumps out of bed, political bed, I'm not talking about literally. She jumps out of one bed into another bed just to make a few dollars. To keep the dream alive, and they didn't even vote for Jesse Jackson. The election before that, they voted for Mondale, some of them voted for Reagan. And didn't want to be seen with Jesse Jackson. Now it's become popular for her to be seen with him. So she had him over at the church, Ebenezer, recently. Get ready for war. War is coming in this country. And we have to be organized. How many black men in here respect the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? You recognize that he's a bold black man. Hold your black hand up. Let me see it. Hold it up like this and let me count. You recognize that Louis Farrakhan is on it? Do you recognize that this Peckerwood is scared of him?
Yes, sir.
Do you want a weak leader?
No, sir.
Do you want a leader that will go to the white man and punk out?
No, sir.
Do you?
No, sir.
Go to the white man and apologize?
No, sir.
Watch it to my head and not to my heart. You want a leader like that?
No, sir.
We need an army. How many black men in here believe that we need an army? I ain't asking you if you're going to join. That's not these brothers. That's the ones that didn't come. Not these brothers. How many of you in here believe that we need a black army? Let me see your black fists. Need a black army. Hands down. How many believe that Louis Farrakhan is fitting to be the commander-in-chief of this black army? Let me see you. Believe he's fitting to be the commander-in-chief? Huh? Hands down. How many of you heard him before? Seen him before? Felt him before? Been moved by him before? Been touched by him before? Hands down. How many of you would like to join with Louis Farrakhan and help him with the total liberation and salvation of the black man? Stand up. If you're a black man and you want to help Louis Farrakhan, stand up. Let me ask you this. How many of you that are standing up, don't sit down, how many of you that are standing up would have stood with the Honorable Marcus Garvey when he was here? Let me see your hand. All right. How many of you would have been with Nat? Me and Nat. How many would have been with Nat? All right. Now Nat was running for president. All right. Those brothers who are standing, we want you. Do we have a way to get just to put these brothers on the mailing list? Do you mind being on our mailing list? We're not going to turn it over to the FBI. We're turning it over to the FOI. Would you mind us putting you on our mailing list? Yes, sir. We have the secretary, Brother Amin Muhammad. Brother Amin Muhammad. Give him a hand. Hard working, hard driving. Brother Amin Muhammad. On the way out, he will be there. He'll have some men at the door. We need 2 or 3 pads working. Have some men at the door, and he'll be out at the table. So please go and see him. How many black women remain standing because we're closing out? How many black women have been moved by what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan from the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught? You've heard it before. Let me see your black hand. You've seen it before. You believe that Minister Louis Farrakhan is a strong black leader, and you want to help him. Any way you can help him. Would you stand? Just want to see. Like to help him. Just want to see. Be able to tell him. Just want to see. Okay. All right. Okay. Great. Now, all of you that are standing and those of you who are seated, again, I want to say to you that I have enjoyed being here with you. This is my first time speaking since I've been out of prison. The devil kept me in solitary confinement. Much of that time I was there, he was afraid that I was going to organize. He was right. As soon as he let me out of solitary confinement, as Allah is my witness, we converted close to, I'm not lying, close to 90 to 95% of the black men and the black Cubans in the prison. Good. Scared the white man to death. I mean, we had brothers with guns and arms as big as my head. Walking around, I said, oh, brother, I'm so glad y'all told us about this beach. I mean, strong black men in the penitentiary. I'm thankful to Almighty God, Allah, that I had an opportunity. I wouldn't have volunteered now, I ain't gonna lie. That I had an opportunity to spend time in the hole in solitary confinement. Just walk in, I mean, with no bars. I'm iron and a steel door. The cracker opened the door and pushed my food on the floor in a tray. Said, step back, get back. You got to get back, and the cracker pushed the food in on the tray on the floor. Strip you buck naked, look in every hole you got. Found some holes I didn't even know I had. My nose, my ears, everywhere. I'm telling you, make you bend over and spread your cheeks. Look, get down there and look. See if you got a weapon in there. The devil is scared. These devils will strip us to go to the shower. We have to stick our hands out through the door. They have a slot in the door. They cuff us and then chain us, shackle us. And then 2 or 3 devils walk and put a big chain around your waist, and 2 or 3 devils take us to the shower. The devil put you in the shower with the chains on. And then you stick your hand back out the door after it's locked, and the cracker unlock the chain and then turn you loose in there. And if there wasn't no light in there, the cracker say, don't worry about it, ain't nothing moved, you know where everything is. You don't need no light. You got to shave and bathe in the dark. You get through, you stick your arms back out, he cuff you, then shackle you down when you come out, and 2 or 3 of them walk you back to your cells. I felt good, though. When it came time for me to go to court, I don't know how many crackers they sent for one me. Shackle me, chain me. All these crackers come in put me on a private airplane, flew me from Alabama Penitentiary to the courthouse in Atlanta, Georgia, landed at a private airport. And then some boatpecker woods were on the ground with all kind of weapons. I say, damn, this cracker is scared of this teacher. He wasn't scared so much of me. He thought that the brothers were coming to take me. Because during my trial, the brothers were all everywhere. Ring of men around the courthouse. FOI all down the hallway. All in the courtroom. When they brought me in, chained, I stepped in the courtroom. You know how they all say, oh yeah, all right, good honorable so-and-so. And they say that for me, and everybody stand because they make you stand. I walk in and all the black people, as soon as I walk in, all the black people, it looked like it was choreographed. You could hear, all you could hear was black people standing. Whoosh. The judge looked, and I kept walking. I said, you may be seated. All you could hear was all these black people saying, whoosh. This devil. When he sentenced me, he talked about first 5 years. Then he talked about 3 years. He said, they got people around here that think you can walk on water. He said, some of you were there, and it's in the transcript. He said, there are people who think you can walk on water.
That's what
He said, then he went on to say, there's no slap on the wrist that's going to stop you. He said, you're flying awfully high. I got to bring you down to some side. He said, it's in the transcript. He said in front of everybody, the news cameras. They ran me every day on TV with Minister Farrakhan. They'd show Minister Farrakhan fine down. Then they show me right behind my leader, either standing with getting his back, or they would show me speaking for my leader and defending him. Now the devil is talking about moving on Minister Farrakhan, talking about putting Minister Farrakhan in prison, trying to tie Minister Farrakhan up in some phony tax charges, since he knows that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that we are not free, we are slaves, and a slave ain't got no business paying no damn tax. You don't tax no slave. So they know that Minister Farrakhan is also a religious man. He's God's man. He's a minister. But they're trying to hook him up on some taxes and lock him up. This cracker got serious trouble if he locked up little Farrakhan. I'm hearing the black people say all over the country. I didn't say it. I'm capable of saying it, but I'm telling you what I heard. They weren't Muslims either. They weren't registered. I heard black people say all over the country, and I'm speaking all over the country this month, and I've heard some at the beginning of the month last month. They say if they lock Minister Farrakhan up, we tear this number up. We're on the threshold of revolution. If they lock up Farrakhan, Minister Farrakhan is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the precipitant to revolution. When you lock up Farrakhan, you got serious problems on your hands. Why am I talking like this? Because I want this cracker to know what the consequences are.
That's right.
I want him to know that it ain't coming from me, but it's coming from the voice of the black masses. That the black masses are saying they blowing up gas stations. They're saying what happened in Miami will look like a Sunday school picnic. They say they just running up the crackers and busting crackers upside their head anywhere they see them. They say they gonna kill policemen. That's what the people saying. That they'll kill policemen sitting up at McDonald's and Jack in the Box and eating Winchell's donuts. That's what black people are telling me. Some of you heard it, haven't you? You heard them saying that, haven't you? But they talk about Father the minister. Black people ain't gonna stand for it. So brothers and sisters, again, I thank you, and remember, we must be black by popular demand.
Please, everyone, please hold your places just for a few moments while Dr. Khalid exits the building. Just hold a few moments while Dr.